Live from the heart of Florida, it's the 4GQ TV podcast starring Cerebral Paul, PKX Live, Animated Evil, Cozy Beluga, Frogboy Gaming, and your host, Clouds. Welcome, everybody. So we are live with another episode of 4GQ TV. Sorry for the delays. I had some technical difficulties, and I was waiting for. Listen, Paul, just take a pineapple and So we have some very special guests tonight, but I'm gonna just introduce everybody briefly, and we'll go from there. So I want to welcome Centurion for the first time ever to 4GQ TV. Welcome, man.
Finally having an actual voiced discussion, especially on today's news.
Don't worry, we're watching you.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no. There's a lot going on today, and a lot.
I already put my statement out on Twitter on where I stand on this whole situation with Xbox. It's why I've been stoically silent with my channel. Just like, you know what? I'm gonna just sit back and wait until there's an official statement, because I have my opinions about the gaming media, and that's that.
Toxic.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you know what? Welcome back to the legendary one, Yobi.
Woo woo, Yobi.
Peace, love, light. What's going on, y'all?
Welcome back.
We're gonna have a great show today. Let's get it.
Welcome back.
Thank you. And thanks for the invite back, Clowns. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Always a pleasure having you here, man. And then we have the Cozy Beluga, whose bird is pecking her on the head and needs his own camera, or her own camera, or whatever.
No, that bird definitely needs his own camera. I mean, goddamn.
Yeah. That bird is happy today. That bird did not sell its Xbox.
Yo.
I'm selling my Xbox. I would have sold my Xbox, but GameStop said they would only give me 50 cents because they had way too many of them now.
Yeah.
Lol.
Aww.
Cozy, how you doing? What have you been up to?
I've been doing fine. I've been enjoying. I've been working on some hobbies and projects and gaming. The norm.
Nice. The norm.
Shouts out to Brotato and Helldivers.
Helldivers is fire, and I need to play Brotato.
I've been seeing the praise of Helldivers for so many years, and now I feel vindicated.
I don't know.
Here go Clown with the doom and gloom. Go ahead, Clown.
No, I'm not going to do doom and gloom. I'll leave that to Paul.
You said, oh, well.
What? No. Wait. No, because I actually purchased Helldivers today with my Twitch
Me too.
payout. So.
I did too. I bought it. $32.
I will be playing Helldiver and the Helldivers 2 in the next day or two when I have some time. So.
I support this.
Hey, I bought it too after the Xbox showcase. I figured Sony needed the money real bad.
Shout out to Centurion with that fire ass shirt. I should have heat. Yes, sir.
Oh, dude,
it's fire, bro.
I'm excited because as a birthday present, my wife surprised me the other day, letting me know I'm going to SmackDown on March 1st.
You lucky dog.
Nice.
Actually, here's the creepy part. The last time I went to a WWE event was in February of 2020, just before the shutdown for the pandemic, and they moved over to the whole Thunderdome thing and everybody on televisions.
Wow. So you went to the last live event before they went.
I went to one of the last live events that were in 2020.
Wow, nice.
Wow, that's insane.
So were you lucky?
I guess what makes that whole thing memorable and kind of a blessing is I was able to see Bill Goldberg, face to face with the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, R.I.P. for him. So yeah, it was the fact that I was able to see Bray Wyatt and Goldberg kind of in the thing before their WrestleMania match that year.
You saw Bray Wyatt before.
So was Roman there when you were there?
And yes, Roman was there. He was actually one of the like. It's kind of funny, like on air during that time, they were like, "Oh, Baron Corbin and Roman Reigns were going at it," and on television time, Baron Corbin had never been defeated by Roman Reigns, but off air, I actually got to see a match where Roman Reigns actually pinned Baron Corbin. So it's kind of funny what happens behind the scenes.
When you talk about wrestling, this is Paul. You ready for this?
Clowns, don't you dare.
Acknowledge me.
Okay, there we go. There we go.
So I actually have
that.
an acknowledge me shirt that my wife gifted me the day David Jaffe decided to badmouth me on Twitter. And I had to laugh at that. I was just like, oh my God, I actually got David Jaffe to say my name. I'm vindicated.
Nice.
Well, it's okay. David Jaffe said my name once, and he said it was an insult, and it was.
Oh, I've got a screen. Yeah, I've got a screenshot of it. No, he was insulting me all the way.
Well, I gotta introduce Frog Boy. We didn't get through that. Maybe I'll have Paul do announcements.
The Frogman himself.
So, Frog Boy, welcome, man. Welcome
You
back.
you actually still never introduced me. We
What's
just started
up?
Talking, but yeah.
It's good to be back. Today I'm Toxic Toad, so
Oh wow.
I'm feeling kind of toxic today. So well, hopefully we'll get through this and it won't be too toxic. But yeah, dude, the gaming media really trashy. Don't like these guys that much anymore. I think they're fake, and it's gonna bleed through into my whole mood today. That sucks.
I think Frog Boy's gonna be calling people out on his channel. That's what I get the feeling of.
Oh, you better believe it.
I
Going
got the
after.
feeling.
Don't worry, IGN. I can see you, buddy. I can see you really well.
They probably
Hey,
have
but
you
they're
on the
doing a
block
live
list now.
event in LA. But they're doing a live event in LA this next year. In 2024. So
I feel bad for all those CNN and rejects that had to go into gaming because they couldn't get a job at CNN.
And the man who I can never introduce right now because Paul is busy being a pineapple, and we can't see him
Inappropriately.
inappropriately off screen. We can't see him, but he's there. Hey, Paul, how's it going?
yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, you excited?
Yeah. I mean, and today was good. I mean, today kind of went the way I thought it was going to. If you go back and look at things I've been saying for the last week or so. And let's see, what have I been playing? I've been playing. Tells you how good the game is. I've been playing, enjoying it. Oh, Skull and Bones, because I had early access to Skull and Bones. I've been playing that. It's okay. It's been keeping me busy. I will say that. I need to try it with some people. You can do up to a group of 3. By the way, games, I hate this whole group of 3 shit. Okay, it just seems like a really odd number. It's like.
Well, people complain when you need it 4 on Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, well, I would prefer, I'd like the option for 4 because, if I do have a group of friends to play, there's usually at least 4 of us, not 3 of us. So then we have to okay, I'll sit out or whatever.
Is there an option for 1?
Well, yeah, I've been soloing it all the time. I mean, that's the only way I've played it so far as I've soloed it, which is okay. It's a lot slower going because you can't take on multiple targets and stuff that easily. But but it looks good. And like I said, I've gotten into the second phase of the game. I don't know if I'm going to keep playing it, but for now it's good. I'm enjoying it. It only had 6 delays before they released it. So yeah. I'm liking it. Other than that, it's been an okay week. Pretty chill. Was Valentine's Day, and I don't care because nobody loves me, so that's okay. And since I've been trying to watch what I eat, I can't even take advantage of post Valentine's Day candy sales and stuff.
Oh man.
So yeah. I know it's a real bummer. Yeah.
Well, to get off that sad news here, I kind of want to talk about.
You want somebody to love.
Well, that's better than 1 is the loneliest number.
Well, that's my favorite song, but
So
1 is the loneliest number, but 2 is almost as lonely as the number 1. They say, So.
Paul, when you're off camera, you're more. What's the term?
Talkity.
Yes.
No, I'm always jackety, dude. I'm just, whatever. I'm actually in a somewhat decent mood today, so.
That's all.
By the way,
Xbox.
By the way, Centurion, since you're going to the event, if you're ever up for it, I would like you to join us on Monday night with me and Spooky as we talk wrestling, because we actually have a wrestling show on this channel. So
That's no problem. I've been watching off and on for a long time now.
yeah. So yeah, especially after the pay-per-view in 2 weeks, dude. Or a week and a half now. So
Well,
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. Just always, just hit me up on my DM, and yeah, definitely, I'm always down because I know some people. It's like, oh my god, wrestling. I'm gonna go watch paint dry.
wait a minute.
Hey.
I've done that before.
Pretty much.
I did that.
Hey, I watch it.
Clowns.
I watch Monday Night Raw while we're broadcasting, so sometimes I'll interject what's going on during. Oh my god! Yeah. So yeah,
Well, speaking of Monday Night Raw, I feel like Xbox threw something in the wrestling ring today, right? I feel like that they came out, put everybody's mind at ease, and I think the speech was prepared well. I think they were ready, and they answered some of the questions. I really love the
Solid
fact that
delivery.
what's that?
Solid delivery.
Yeah, it was, and I really like the fact that Phil and Sarah kind of talked about the future of Xbox and on as many screens as possible. Wherever Xbox players are, they can play Xbox games. They did briefly talk about 4 games going to other consoles, but they didn't mention them. There's some rumors of what they are online. I'm sure that's going to change over time. What the rumors are.
well, the breakdown right now is okay. Two live service games and 2 games that will be served well just by getting a larger audience. All the games
2
are over a year old, at least.
2 passion projects.
Passion projects, yes. So but so, and that's all we know so far. I mean, but there are rumors of what those 4 are going to be, and
I hope it's Redfall. I hope the ponies get Redfall.
Stop.
Yo, Paul, let me interrupt you for a second. Shout out to Infinite with their re-up on the membership. He's been a member for 40 months, and he says, whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
I'm surprised he didn't say Pineapple Paul yet. Did he say Pineapple?
I'm not saying that.
No,
I'm not saying that. Stop it.
No.
Okay.
I'm not saying that.
Power So anyway, let me go straight to Centurion because he covered Xbox on his channel. He talks a lot about Xbox, and
he breaks it down very meticulously. So
what do you think about this show today? This Xbox business update.
Speaking of that, I got to do something.
I feel it's a lot of. See, here's the only thing. In my world, in my mind, Xbox has not lied to me.
Mm-hmm.
The ironic part is on my channel, people have seen it. It's a shirt that says "No one knows you shit," and I stand behind that. Just because I bought a game console doesn't make me a stockholder. It doesn't make me all that much more important to Xbox. And in the messaging that I got out of this is, for starters, that I like how they, every screen is an Xbox. So all of a sudden, everybody, I don't know about you guys, but my PlayStation sure doesn't have a screen built into the side of it. Like, for whatever reason, when people hear the word screen, that they're just like, oh my God, it's coming to PlayStation. And it's like, dude, your PlayStation's hooked into a television.
Yeah.
I have a QLED right now with the Samsung gaming hub in it, and I could fire up Game Pass on my Samsung TV without an Xbox. All I got to do is have a controller for it to connect.
And that's amazing.
And that's the only thing. Like, Xbox is a hardware developer. Let's look at some of the hardware that, for starters, we need the Azure cloud system for xCloud. We all know eventually things are going to move to a more streaming platform. We know they're developing hardware to put into the server blades to create the ability for virtual consoles to work, because that's how people are able to play on all these smaller devices, televisions, tablets, what have you. And they know that there's always going to be a small niche demand for people that want to have localized hardware in their home. Like, look, they're still making 4K Blu-ray players. They're just not as commonplace because of streaming, but there's still a small production of them taking place.
Right.
And the funny part is, because of the issues that have arose recently with other brands like PlayStation, with the Discovery Channel deciding to revoke a bunch of digital content, Crunchyroll and that incident of hiking the price up on a lot of anime. Anime really grew its roots in having physical copies out there for people to consume a lot of anime. And now, for the first time ever, Panasonic is coming out that they're seeing an increased demand for 4K Blu-ray players. So it comes in waves, ebbs and flows. You know, 1 minute everybody's happy, hunky dory with how it works. All of a sudden, something happens and they want their localized hardware. So I really do see. I don't see Microsoft just like, screw it. I've heard that the new iteration of the console is going to be more digital. It's going to have a standalone disk drive, kind of like what PlayStation is doing. But what makes me laugh about this whole situation is everybody seems to see Xbox as like, this is going to destroy the brand. PlayStation came out and already lowered their earnings or whatever you want to call it. Like, they thought they were going to sell this many consoles and they didn't. They're already lowering the expectations of the success of the PlayStation 5. There's even been a comment saying that we're already towards the end of the generation when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the Series X, when I still feel like it's just
insane.
No, that's nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
And that is nuts. But that's where with Xbox, apparently Xbox is failing at what they're doing, when in their messaging they told us that they're trying to push not Xbox forward, they're trying to push gaming forward. Because I liked how Phil Spencer brought it up. They're like, gaming actually was at a standstill last year.
Yeah.
Like, if we really look at what, they purchased Activision Blizzard, but if we look at the fact of what PlayStation did combined with Nintendo, Xbox, essentially gaming pretty much did the same thing it did for the year before. It didn't move the needle forward.
Right.
And because the needle is not being moved forward, we're seeing instances where now we're seeing layoffs. We're seeing a bunch of different directions being, like, we're seeing PlayStation all of a sudden talking about day and date on PC. I just really feel like this is just another instance of Xbox being ahead of the curve. Remember that always online thing for a game console? Oh my God, who wants their console constantly online? Well, it's like almost like almost second nature now. Yeah. Who wants to have a device in their house that listens to them? But now all of a sudden everybody's obsessed with ordering Tide Pods on their Amazon Alexa or their Siri device, whatever. But that's where, Microsoft has always been a little bit ahead of the curve, sometimes for their own, not for their own good. Sometimes people can't see the bigger picture. I can understand the argument that there should always be a little bit more better messaging or delivery. Maybe yes and no. I could sit there and debate that all day long, because at the same time, I feel that, why is it every time a rumor or a leak occurs, does Xbox have to release a damn press statement? They're like, every single day we see rumors break out about celebrities and like, we don't see this much reaction from a lot of people in multiple industries, but for whatever reason, Xbox has to constantly give some kind of a press statement. And it's gotten absolutely ridiculous. We could sit here and drone on about it all day. At least I could. I'm just going to say that, at least with today's message from Xbox, I felt that it was a good delivery. I'm glad to hear that they're being definitely forward thinking. I'm glad to hear that they're not looking at it from the perspective of a selfish thing, like, oh my God, I can't believe somebody else is going to be able to enjoy the game I love too. I'm more worried. I want them to keep the brand going. I want them to keep the revenue for the brand going. I want them to keep my digital library active by keeping revenue and keeping the brand going forward. And that's where, people here, like, they're bringing 4 games. Yeah, we already probably know it's going to be Hi-Fi Rush, probably Sea of Thieves. Hi-Fi Rush, that wasn't exactly, I like how he said it wasn't a game designed with exclusivity in mind. And we also, like, I love also, like, the idea of exclusives. Like, who buys a console for exclusives? People watching this podcast, people that read gaming news articles. But for the vast majority of people, like, if you look at what PlayStation does with how many consoles they sell and how many people buy their exclusives, they know that exclusives are not a very big needle driver when it comes to why people purchase consoles, and Xbox has that data. PlayStation has that data. The only company that can really feel that they have any leg to stand on when it comes to exclusives is Nintendo. And like they need to be selling Kool-Aid packets inside the Switch, because man, they definitely have.
Hey!
It's weird. I'm just saying because it's weird when you hear like, oh, Zelda Breath of the Wild has 102% attachment rate, and I'm like, who the hell's buying more than one copy when they have like 102% attachment? That means people are buying more copies than there is consoles. So okay,
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
But at any rate, I just like, I know one of the games that they're probably referring to that they're wanting the developers to come out and announce is probably the next iteration of Elder Scrolls Online. Like I play a lot of Elder Scrolls Online. If you guys haven't watched my channel, people have figured that out now. And dude, that game is going to be multiplat. It's the only way to keep it going. So that's where I like how they're starting to refer to it as community-driven games, not as games as a service. And I also like how he touched on when it came to games as a service. Well, we can either keep designing these games and, you know, being predatory and microtransactioning every single one of our consumers because we can't get any new ones, or we can do things to attract new consumers into the ecosystem. And that's basically letting some of the other people on other ecosystems experience these titles. And I don't understand the argument of like, oh, it's going to degrade the Xbox hardware. Well, I don't know about you, but I sure as hell am not going to go pay $70, $80 for a game on another platform that I know I can play it for $15.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm curious what other people thought.
And well, I speaking of exclusives, I actually ended up transcribing Phil's quote from this, and I'm going to read it. It says let me pull it up here. Let's see.
Cozy, what kind of headphones do you have?
JBL Quantum.
Yeah, they're lighting up. You can see them in your hat.
Those are fire. I like those.
So let's see. It says I do have a fundamental belief that
they look like they came with a bird.
See the JBL.
Okay. Let me know when you're done.
Okay.
I'll let you know, Paul. Thank you. Go ahead, Paul. Sorry.
It's his quote from today, and this is something I've been talking about.
Oh man, that was funny.
I do have a fundamental belief that over the next 5 to 10 years, exclusive games, games that were exclusive to one particular piece of hardware are going to be a smaller and smaller part of the gaming industry. And that's what people can't wrap their head around, that exclusives don't hold the same weight that they did back in 2013.
True.
And that market's getting smaller and smaller. You want to put your games out there, especially like you were saying, Centurion, if they can make more money off of it by putting it on other hardware, that's a good thing. That means they have more income coming in and they can develop more stuff, make them a stronger company. It doesn't mean that everybody's going to flee Xbox because they can now play the game on PlayStation.
Paul?
But what?
Can I ask you to do that again, but say it in Phil Spencer voice?
Oh my God.
But he also mentioned that also by getting Xbox games out there, especially with the Xbox, just like when we play Major League or, the baseball game, and we see the first thing we see is Sony, So the first thing they're going to see is Xbox, Microsoft Studios or whatever. So it's gonna drive interest in the Microsoft ecosystem. People with a percentage of people it will. Just that's the way people work.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. Let's say that in your Phil Spencer voice.
And introducing PK, who's late.
I am. Sorry.
So that's for everybody listening right now, PK is another voice behind the curtain. Him and Paul are hanging out, drinking pineapple juice, chilling together.
There you go.
Rocking next to each other. But I think, Paul, you hit something on the head there with that quote, and I think we've all seen it, right? I think there's this how do I say it? There's this conception that a lot of older gamers feel like exclusive sell consoles, right? They feel like because they went out and bought the OG Xbox for Halo or Halo 2, that, man, you got
It's
to
the
have
same now.
exclusives.
That it's the same now. Yeah.
Yeah, but this generation today playing games, getting into games, they want to play on their mobile phones. They play Candy Crush, Cookie Jam. They play Fortnite on their phones. They play on their iPads. They play anywhere they can access to a game really quick. And they're not really console exclusives anymore. They are more multi-platform gamers.
Right.
They're play on the go, play wherever they can. They'll play Fortnite on the PlayStation, the Xbox, the Switch. It doesn't matter to them. They might have all three consoles. They don't care.
I really do feel like if PlayStation and Xbox was to just go multi-platform immediately, I really don't think it would affect the whole console thing so much. I don't think people aren't going to just be like, oh, I'm selling my Xbox and getting a PlayStation or vice versa, due to the fact that digital ownership has taken over. And when you hear Phil Spencer talk about that, it's true. I've got a lot of money invested in digital games on my PlayStation, on my Xbox. People are not going to just uproot and completely buy a whole different platform just because those games are on the other platform now.
I digress, because you might lose your whole library on PlayStation.
Yeah, well, PlayStation, no, see, and that's the thing. I said that I said this in the video that I'm uploading right now, is PlayStation really has to, going forward, take backwards compatibility extremely seriously, because that there could make or break their platform going forward. Especially if Xbox is moving toward doing like a third party publishing games on everything, but still continuing to build the Xbox base by building hardware and stuff like that. I do think that, yes, PlayStation does need to take that very seriously, because Xbox is going to make a lot more money publishing their games and still building hardware for their own platform. They're still going to continue to make money. They're still going to continue to grow the Xbox brand. People are only going to see that as a net positive. I talk to gamers every single day in real life, and every single one of them feel the exact same way I do about gaming. I don't care where I play my game. I would go out and buy a platform for one specific game. I literally bought Xbox One S for Forza Horizon 3 Blizzard Mountain. I literally bought the whole
At least you
platform
bought it for
to
a
play
good
that
game.
You like, gamers are gamers and they want to play games. Every time, I guarantee it, when you're watching like the showcases, like the PlayStation showcase or the Xbox showcase, I know that when I'm watching it with the community and I hear people, saying negative stuff about certain games, I know they're saying that stuff because they are either mad they're not going to buy a PlayStation to play that game, or an Xbox to play that game, or they can't, they made their decision, they can only play one. So I do think that a lot of the hate rage on gaming comes from a position of like feeling like, oh man, I gotta be
sour grapes.
I not necessarily that. They're like, I gotta be loyal to my platform or this, and so I have to hate that game or be fake about that because of some stupid imaginary like plastic box walled ecosystem. And to be completely honest, a while back, I probably would have been in that same camp, but I mean, it's pretty known that like I'm an Xbox fan, but I've kind of moved more toward the PC lately. Just because I've got access, I can play my Xbox games on my PC, and my save is right there. I don't have to guess or wait for it to upload or any of that stuff. I can just transition from whatever platform I want. I can go from my PC to my ROG Ally to my Xbox, and it's there. Boom. And it feels magical. It feels empowering to be able to take my games wherever I want and play them anywhere. I do kind of hope that the next Xbox generation is literally a $99 freaking software, OS software, that you can buy a PC, build whatever you want, and upload. And just, instead of Windows, you download the Xbox OS that allows you to have Steam, that allows you to have, EA Play or any of them other apps. right there on your PC. Like you don't even have to worry about anything else. You don't have to worry about Windows, any of that nonsense. It's just Xbox and Xbox OS on a PC. And then you can download whatever other apps, whatever gaming apps or Discord or any of that other stuff. I think that like you just pay $99 and you got whatever you could put Xbox on whatever PC platform you build. That would be the way forward for me, honestly. I want to be able to have that, my whole digital library come with me to that, because yes, Xbox as a platform is incredible. It's way more exciting than what PlayStation's got going on right now. And I stand by that. After watching today's show, I 100% still agree and stand behind Xbox going forward, and I will continue to represent that brand and make content for Xbox and still continue to buy their games and support that ecosystem, because I think it is incredible for what gamers are getting out of Game Pass. I used to run Game Crazy back in the early 2000s, and I've said this before on my channel. The heartbreaking like feeling you get when you see a kid come in with a stack of games and a console, and they just want that new console and like one game or something, and you just feel so bad that they're like trading all this stuff in for like one game or maybe two games or something. And you just feel bad. And it's like something like Game Pass, man, for these parents to be able to just pay a subscription fee and their kids can just have access to these games. I know my daughter loves it. I know Junior loves it. Xbox Game Pass has been a lifesaver and probably brought so much joy to so many gamers out there. And the only thing you hear from the other side is ridicule for people getting to play games, because they're jealous that they don't get to play new games day and day. Well, they got Foam Stars, so they can play Foam Stars. So
Wow.
With that, I'll pass my time over to somebody else.
I just want to jump in real quick and say that you brought between you and Centurion, another point you guys brought up is that even if, let's say that everything goes multi-plat, right? The consoles are still going to be there to an extent, right? Because people that like the hardware are going to have consoles regardless. People that like consoles are going to have consoles. Even though it's a smaller market than PC and mobile right now, you like consoles, you're going to have it. Now, one thing that sets Xbox apart from PlayStation really well is the fact that Game Pass is marketed in a fantastic way, and it feels like that the onboarding process for Game Pass is a lot easier than figuring out how many tiers of the PlayStation Plus Premium there is. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. It gets confusing. Plus. It gets confusing, yeah. Like unless you really go down the fine line and reread it over and over, you're like, oh, now I get it. But Xbox
feels more like family, bro. It feels more like family. It feels more connected. It feels more exciting. Xbox is everything that I don't know, man. It just feels like family. It feels like community. It feels like
I'm glad you brought that up, because this is one of the concerns I have is from all the poisonous venom that has been basically spread into social media and the constant bashing of Xbox just for kicks and giggles. Yep. I'm worried that is it going to one day be the straw that breaks the camel's back, pump, whatever you want to call it, where Xbox really does take the PlayStation approach to, we're just going to be stoic with the community. It's going to be constant pre-recorded shows. There's going to be little to no interaction whatsoever between the executives and the community.
Exactly. I feel the same way too, man. And, I mean, we've got, clowns and stuff saying that they're, the Xbox is planning on moving away from some of those people. And I mean, like, obviously they deserve it, dude. The way the way they've used their stewardship of the Xbox brand for short-term personal gain is depressing, dude. It's so destructive when it comes to something as creative as gaming, that because dude, I'll play any game. I even found value in Golem. You know what I mean? Like, obviously
I bought Golem day one.
It wasn't the best game. I actually got review key for it, but it wasn't like the best game ever. But I mean, in my opinion, dude, it's literally Uncharted without the sweet Call of Duty budget. You know what I mean? It without
Well,
the
for
sweet.
me, the game broke on the last chapter, and my entire
Really?
save was corrupted. But I still I'm not gonna sit there and just be like, oh my
I
god,
mean
we need to burn WB to the ground.
that game destroyed Daedalic. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they're done. They're not doing games anymore. So many games last year. I mean, Saints Row. I had fun playing that, dude. I was 17 hours into live streaming that game, and I just had nothing but negative people coming and telling me how trash that game is, and I'm like, dude, it's fine. It plays like a freaking video game. I do kind of separate games into different categories. There are games that are, you know, like your Last of Us, that are hardcore story, really good production value, whatever. I mean, there's those games. But then there's other things that are actual freaking video games. If they're fun to play, and there's and they're and like you can understand what's going on, and they're coherent and things like that, as long as I can get enjoyment out of that game, I'm not going to sit and just bash everything just because, you know, oh gosh, it wasn't like the old ones. I'm like, no, dude, it was better than the old ones. It had a better looking world. It had better looking visuals. It was fun to play. It had good like the combat and everything. The shooting in there was fun. The dodge roll. I mean, it's your typical open world game, dude. If you don't like open world games, don't buy it. If I thought it was funny, man. I thought they handled something like Saints Row pretty decently. I didn't have any problems playing that game. I paid my money for that game. You know what I mean? Like, I think the gaming community, because of YouTube and the way that, you know, content creators, they use the hate clicks and everything, they've put like these unrealistic expectations for video games that I don't think are warranted or needed. I mean, it's very rare that we get a game that is absolute trash. And the only one that I can think of lately is probably Quantum Error, that PlayStation exclusive that can only run on an SSD.
I still want to check out Quantum Error, but the one that comes to mind, what's the one where the game lasted 15 days and they ended up like they got sued for the name of the game?
Oh,
and they won
day
the
before,
day before, like that. To me, that was like a full blown. To me, when you go down the road of like vaporware and you're basically creating a way of creating money and screwing people over, at least with Quantum Error, you can still play the game.
Yeah, you can play. And see, that's the thing, man. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, like whenever that Crossfire X came out. So Remedy created the single player content for that. It was about 8 hours or so. I think it was about 8 hours. Both sections of that were about 8 hours. That game was incredible, man. I thought it was so cool. It wasn't like the best action or whatever, but dude, that was cool. I liked playing that. I liked the way that Remedy creates these experiences. And I'm like, gosh dang, dude, I love playing video games, man. Like, video games will always come first for me. And I am willing to try anything and try to find the good in everything I play. And I don't think a lot of these content creators are doing that now. They are more concerned with the clicks and the hate and the rage and the whatever, just for that short-term personal gain. And they're destroying the things that we love, man. They are absolutely destroying it. And when I see all of these freaking companies going under, and then all of these dudes just out there continuing to do their clickbait stuff, like they don't care about these people's livelihoods or their jobs. I'm perfectly okay with constructive criticism. I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm perfectly okay with you coming out and being like, okay, this is some stuff, but to just consistently hate and bash things, and then people that aren't even going to play these games, drive by. I call those the drive-by YouTubers that don't even put any effort into trying to see what's going on. I don't know, man. Like, I get like the gaming. I feel like the gaming industry is very fragile right now, and I think that a lot of developers are going to start pulling back and just putting out more and more safe content, dude. And then it's going to suck, man, because we're not going to get them freaking earth-shattering games that used to come out, man. We're just going to get the same crap over and over and over and over again. And it's just going to be heavily monetized. And that sucks, man.
That's why I didn't like it how everybody tore down Arcane with Redfall. I was like, are we really going to bastardize and condemn a group of people that wanted to do something different? You wanted to shoehorn
it an 8.
Like for them, everybody was like, oh no, they're really great at single player games like Prey, and they need to do a game like Prey. And I'm like, who are you to fault somebody for wanting to try something new? That,
Exactly.
like some of the only time a human being ever grows is in a state of uncomfortability. When you put yourself
Exactly.
into an uncomfortable situation
Exactly.
where you got to learn how to pivot and grow as an individual, and the same could be as a company.
Yeah,
True
dude.
that. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm on another podcast where one of the guys kept saying, "Well, they should stick with what they know is going to work." And I don't know why they keep trying to reach out and do something different. I'm like, for exactly the same reason you said. It's like, and sometimes some of those people, they're tired of doing the same thing because they've been working on this game for years. Hey, I have an idea. Let's try something else.
They
If it works, it works.
nailed,
If it doesn't, it doesn't.
they absolutely nailed the atmosphere in Redfall.
Oh yeah,
I
the
thought that
atmosphere is
was
great.
so
Yeah,
cool, man. I was happy just playing that game and like, yeah, dude, that was cool. We had fun. I think we put about 21 hours into that, live streamed it with the community and stuff. I thought it was fine. Like I didn't hate the game. I played it. It was just fine. It worked for the most part. Yeah, there were some issues, obviously, but I mean, I paid $70 for it. I didn't even just play it on Game Pass. I actually bought the game and played it. I didn't hate it. I didn't feel ripped off.
No, I enjoyed it too as well. But I do want to give you a round of applause though. You hit something on the head here with the rage bait, the clickbait, putting people out of business and they don't care, and they just want to drive up donations and get people all enraged. And what they're doing is they're feeding off raw emotion, kind of like no different than somebody speaking at a public square, getting somebody all riled up to public scrutiny. So. Yeah, Cozy just did an imitation of it.
I call them the e-beggars, man. The filthy e-beggars.
So it's actually this is where when it comes to the gaming media or anybody that really is trying to be successful in an environment where it's like information driven content. So there's a psychological nature to getting people to want to interact with your content. And that's whether you're, who from basically a Microsoft dedicated website or, a PlayStation website or any game site or even anything. And it's marketing 101. You are essentially creating something that is going to get your targeted audience to do exactly what you need them to do. And for all of these gaming media sites, most of the time, it's not about the proper dissemination of information or creating logical thought or having a professional discussion. It's all about getting your targeted audience to basically visit your webpage to collect the ad revenue from the asinine amount of ads that fly across your screen. And also for pay-per-clicks, which is if anybody interacts with those ads, you get paid for somebody just even touching them. And when it comes to marketing, this is where my paint dry situation is I love watching these guys that are salesmen, like the seminars of where you sit and you watch these guys that teach people how to sell stuff on the phone or car dealers and stuff like that. And they always say the number one thing that you need to do to get people to act the way you want to do is to create an emotional reaction. And sometimes the best emotional reaction is fear. You got to basically somehow create a negative connotation of an emotional reaction. And you got to essentially get people to feel that they need to know what you're talking about, or somehow they're going to feel scared that they don't know. And that's where a lot of these websites and even content creators have learned that you could sit there all day long and put up a thumbnail on your channel. Xbox is the greatest thing ever, and you'll get barely any views. But the minute you put up a thumbnail that says, Xbox has a problem. Oh, what the hell did they do now? Right. And it's basically a fear-driven marketing scheme.
See, I've actually tested this too, man. I've put out like solid content with a solid thing, with just a solid title, barely any clicks. But every time I do a clickbait content, and I don't know if people like it or they hate it or not, but I don't know, dude. I'll do a clickbait content and it'll be like real content. You know what I mean?
Well, to me, there's a fine line with
crazy.
There's a fine line with clickbait. To me, clickbait is the guy that went on and basically said he had all the information on Grand Theft Auto 6, and it was literally images of Grand Theft Auto 5. And the same individual also went online and was like, oh my God, Microsoft is making Call of Duty exclusive because of what PlayStation did during the FTC trials. And I'm just like, Microsoft not one time ever said they were making Call of Duty exclusive, ever.
Yep.
So
Nope,
it's that to me, that's when you are blatantly using a lie that but there's a fine line in creating something that makes people curious to know what your content is about, where you're just flat, like, as long as your content deals with what, at least the discussion on hand, to me, that's why I said you got to learn to be respectful on doing that. You just can't create some off the wall freaking title and then not even have a conversation about what it's really about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting. No, both of you are bringing up some really excellent points here. Yobi, you are one of the biggest hearts in this community, supporting everybody. And I'm kind of curious, like, how do you feel about the state of gaming, and how do you feel about, what Xbox came out and said today?
Well, the number one, the state of gaming. The state of gaming right now sucks. A lot of people try to beat past it, but it sucks. Like, I wouldn't say not across all boards, but like, you got one side who wants to see the gaming industry flourish and do great things and be innovative and try something different. But see, that side that I'm talking about, that side always get flushed out, always silent. They never seem to get this side of attention. Now, when we're talking about this side, when I say this side, I mean the gaming media, the ones who, clowns, you know what I'm talking about, the main ones who can, truth be told, they can make or break a studio. For example, with the Suicide Squad BS, they didn't get in code, and they basically want to use their power to dictate whether that game lives or dies, and they basically tried to destroy that game before it was even out. And then you got the what's this guy named Destin going on a tirade on Twitter, like act like a damn man child. Did he spoiled the whole fucking ending of Suicide Squad? Like,
yeah, exactly, dude. I hate that so bad.
Yo, like, what are you doing?
So
like,
annoying. That's, I mean, yeah.
Go ahead. I'll continue you, but go ahead. I want to hear you.
After playing the demo of Final Fantasy VII, man, Rebirth, I'm like, gosh, dude, I don't know if I want to pay the money for this, man. Like, I was being genuine, with my content, being like, I don't know, man. I think I might just wait for the PC version so that I can experience that, with higher quality visuals, whatever. Nothing. I mean, like, I'm very hyped and very pumped for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Right.
But I know for a fact, if I don't play that game day one, people are going to ruin it. They're going to spoil the crap out of that game and do everything they can to ruin that experience for everybody. And it sucks, man. Like, Suicide Squad is a fine game. I love it, dude. It's got some of the best looking characters. Some of the best looking characters I've seen in a video game. And I'm like, wow, these characters are very lifelike. And I'm like, gosh, dang, this is good work, man. Rocksteady knocked this out of the park. And I never cared about the Suicide Squad ever until I played that game. And they did a good job, dude. They made me actually care about those characters enough to be like, yeah, dude, I stand behind this game. It's awesome. I love playing it. It is fun. And I care about, those characters now. That I never cared about before, really. I didn't care about, like, Suicide Squad. I'm a Superman fan. Why would I care about them? And I killed the Justice League, and I don't feel bad about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
go ahead and finish that. I'm sorry.
No. I love what you're saying. So what I'm saying is, like, this side, they focus on trying to be gatekeepers of this video game industry, where they feel like their word is. It's like law, and that's how, like how can that be fair? So basically, whatever games they review. Okay, you should play this game. You should play this game. Oh, this game, yeah, don't play that game because we said don't play that game. Like these guys on the side, they're stopping the industry from growing, and the fact that they have that much power for a game to basically, they basically have they basically have enough power for a game to basically commit suicide and just and then just that's what I'm looking for. They and it could just like basically throw that studio's whole future in the trash, and then that studio get sayonara. And it's not fair because these guys on the left side, like us, we're bringing in new stuff. We're bringing in something totally different, and the guys on the left side will make sure that industry grows. And I feel like
It's funny.
guys like Clowns, Frog Boys, Centurion, Iron Lords, the guys who are putting out the honest content. These like and Fun Speculation, all the other guys still ran live split screen. These are the guys that should be on the right side to bring in usher in a new era of
real
trust. Yes, of realism, trustworthy, integrity, and
integrity.
and integrity, and just make gaming pure again. Because on the outside looking in, everybody look at us like we're fucking assholes, like we're fucking idiots. And from the
like we're
like we're fucking idiots. And from the past 2 weeks, when everybody lost their shit, it just keep adding on to more. It's like, yo, these gamers, they're fucking assholes. I don't want nothing to do with them. And it's like, it sucks. Now, what was the other part of that question, Clowns?
And how did you feel about the
Pineapples?
Oh, the Xbox show?
Yeah.
Good. They hit everything on the nose, and the 4 games that they didn't say, me personally, I feel like the main 2 is going to be Sea of Thieves and Grounded. Why those 2?
Woo!
Because they're perfect.
They're perfect. It
for
speaks for
bringing
itself.
more. Those games will sell themselves.
Exactly, and I guarantee you bring those 2 multi-platform to everywhere else, guarantees those online status for how many people online playing is gonna grow from over 50 million to past 100 million. Guaranteed. Grounded, the game speaks for itself. Grounded is like the perfect game, and kids love to be pirates. Like, kids love pirates.
I mean, from what my buddy here, Cabbage, is saying is, I mean, Microsoft. I mean, I'm not going to put it past Microsoft to be to have ulterior motives. My buddy here, Cabbage, he even says this, and it does. It makes sense. You know, maybe they are trying to buy more studios and publishers and whatever, and this is them throwing a bone to the FTC, being like, "Look, man, we're gonna enable gamers to play games. Like, this is our plan. Like, we will have exclusive content, but we are going to provide content for other platforms in like simultaneously with what we're doing to build our Xbox brand." And yeah, like I do feel that is, you know, not too far fetched for sure. And you know, at the end of the day, when Xbox becomes number one, actually, I think they already are number one, but you know, it's one of those things where, yeah, if I have more faith in Xbox buying developers and publishers than I do pretty much anybody else, and that's because I like at least what Xbox shows to the public in terms of how they want to do things and how they want to manage things. And I get that there's a lot of bad blood with Xbox fans from the past. Like, I get that, dude. But just Xbox going out and spending $70 billion to buy Activision to guarantee Xbox players get that content, that should tell you everything you need to know about what Xbox plans to do with the future, because you don't spend $70 billion just to like completely give your platform the middle finger, man. You don't do that. And I think Xbox felt they needed to do something drastic like that to 100% be like, look, man, I know that we haven't been there for you guys, but these are the moves we're willing to make to show you we're committed to you as a gamer and as a platform. And for these fake ass Xbox traders to be like, oh, I'm giving up on Xbox. I'm selling my Xbox and blah, blah, blah. That right there to me in my mind is so disingenuous. And then to see them all back on Twitter today being like, oh yeah, see, it was nothing. It was just I'm just like, wow, dude, really? I'm like, how are these guys' channels bigger than ours, bro? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
here we are, and I get it. People are like, oh, you're just an Xbox shill. It's like, no, dude. I actually believe in what Xbox is trying to do. And I've said this, you can go back and watch all my content for 3 years. I actually believe in this. I believe in the system and in the overall vision of when we all play, we all win. I believe in that. I actually believe in that. Unlike other gamers or unlike other fake Xbox channels that are just trying to get clickbaits and e-begging. They're all e-beggars in my opinion, bro. And it sucks.
All right. I got cut in because I got to drop out.
Whoa. Already?
What?
Yeah, I got something I got to do handle. I'm sorry. But hey, look, I'm going to tell you guys. I hung out with Tim Dog on his little spaces last week. I'm going to say the same thing I'm going to say to y'all this time. Shout out to Tim Dog. He's a friend of the channel, friend of Carlo, me, everyone in here. He even got attack dogs. Crazy. I'm going to tell you guys like this. We are the hardcore gamers. That's why we do what we do. That's why we're here talking about this. We are minorities. We are the minority of the population. The casuals is the majority. So the casuals are the ones who buy Pokemon just to beat the game and then throw it down, even though they just pay $70 and to have, or people spent money and paid $70 on Spider-Man 2 for 9-hour gameplay, and then they beat it the same day they took it home. But the point I'm making is they're casuals. They don't care. They'll just buy it, and when they're done with it, they're done. They will go right back to the same Apex, the same multiplayer games that they could play on everything else, as like everybody mentioned. But what's most important about all this is we are the generation that is different than the gamers after us. They're going to engage in gaming different than we are. So we're not going to keep the lights on for Microsoft. I'm not saying we're not going to stop being gamers, but when you think about it, in order for Phil to reach that 1 billion gamer into the ecosystem, how he's going to do that? You got to tap into the mobile market. You got to tap into markets you never touched. You got to be able to expand in ways that's never been done before because the console market is stagnant. At the end of the day, when you think about it, the next generation gamers and the next generation gamers after that, they don't value or look at games the same way we do. We can't keep forcing people to feel like they have to have a physical copy of this or that. And I'm not saying it should ever go away, but let's keep it 100. Is it really worth the investment when it's only 5% of the market still buying physical copies?
Nope.
Is it really worth paying that extra license fee for a Blu-ray player in your console when it could lower, when you can actually spend the money somewhere else to increase power of the console instead of wasting it on a disc player and pay license for it for what? You're not getting any value out of that. I'm not saying don't have it as an option. I mean, come on, CD and DVD players and Blu-ray players for your PC is nothing. You can get one $10 or less, right? Nobody cares. You know why laptops don't come with disc players anymore? Because nobody cares. That's what I keep saying. So you got to adapt because technology don't wait on anybody. It just keeps going and it goes in the same level that you have to adapt or you're going to be a blockbuster, right? You got to adapt. So you adapt to the trends, you adapt to the market, and guess what? The market is going to the next generation. It doesn't mean an end of world for us. It just means we have to learn to accept it and accept the fact that the way gaming is being adapted and the way it's just the way it's going to be, man. You gotta, and look, Phil's job, his number one job is to make sure Xbox is profitable. If it's not, it's going to go away. So whatever that means, he's got to make those choices. He's going to make the best choices so he doesn't burn his fan base. But let's keep it 100. There is a trend going here, and that trend has to be. You can't ignore it. You got to be able to adapt. Anybody in here who has bought movies on Amazon, do they give a damn if you watch it on your TV, Fire Stick, phone, or any freaking platform you can enjoy their content? No.
Yep.
All they want you to do is subscribe to their stuff. It's the same thing with streaming movies, right? Yes, I do believe that exclusive content should be there. That's how you sell yourself, but it's not ultimately everybody, right? So when you look at Netflix, Netflix has a ton of crap, and they do have exclusive content, don't get me wrong. They have some good stuff, but 80% of everything they have is licensed. That's
True
just
that.
that's just what it is. Um, Unfortunately, it's not the same for a Disney Plus, right? Everything on Disney Plus is owned by Disney. You don't have the same licensed content, so it's not going to have the same big numbers as Netflix because you don't have that expansion, right? Why you think HBO's movies end up on Amazon being licensed over there? Because they know that's how you make your money. Yes, you can have a streaming, you can have exclusive shows and all that, but if you really want people interest, you got to do like the old Google method. Give something away for free and to make people want to adapt your ecosystem. At the end of the day, the next generation is going they engage and play games differently than we do, and we can't force them to like what we like and play the games we play. They're just not going to. They're not going to see it that way. Just like we don't see the value in, I'm not saying that people don't like Apex Legends, but let's keep it 100. Most of us, on this generation, we don't value it as the same set pieces and some of the other games we played in the past, right? Some of
Mhm.
the single player titles, et cetera, et cetera. But that doesn't mean it's bad. It just means we have different tastes. We have different ways of engaging in gaming, and unfortunately, things are changing, and we have to be okay with that. That doesn't mean art, what we like, goes away. It just means there'll be less of it, and to be more of what is attracting the larger crowd. The casuals is what spends the money. A lot of people talking about Japan and Xbox don't do well in Japan. Well, no console does well in Japan. You know why? Because they always want to play on their phones. They mobile.
Hmm.
They don't care about none of that. And what I'm getting at is that's an example of what I'm talking about. The generation has switched, and you have to adapt. The problem is a lot of the Japanese and I'll say Far East, they have a mentality that's different from the West. And the difference is in the West, we're gonna give you what you want, and in the East, we're gonna give you what you want. We want you to have, and that mentality won't last. If the Far East, why you think the gaming market in the Far East has shrunk? It was the biggest and booming gaming market ever. Now look where it's at. Why does Square always got an opinion, but they doing horrible? They always got an opinion about how gaming is and pointing fingers and trying to tell people how to do good, but they're doing horrible.
But
Think
it's
about
never
it.
them. But it's never them. Yeah.
It's never them, but they always got an opinion. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I'm saying. Who's quiet? How about the dudes that's sitting there with the most expensive production video game ever made, GTA 6? Ain't saying nothing. Sitting there collecting checks on GTA 5 since 360. Come on, bro. You know why they quiet? Because they giving people what they want and not what they want them to have. You know why Power World did well? Same reason. They gave them what people who are Pokemon fans wanted, not what Game Freak wanted people to have. It's
Mhm.
different. So when you start doing that method, then yeah, your numbers are going to change. So I mean, you got to embrace it. My thing is try to understand the trend of the generation of gamers after us, right? This is why Fortnite is such a boon. It's a $1 billion franchise. It makes billions every year. Not because it's the most engaging set piece storytelling game. No, it's because it's the easiest low level entry game you can possibly get into, and not just us. I'm not speaking to us. I'm speaking to the casual market.
Mhm.
And that's if you look at that trend, then you have to understand that sharing your toys is how you get more exposure. Not saying you got to do everything, but you got to give them enough to want to be curious to hop over,
Right.
right? And yes, I do. You can't. I'm not gonna say Frog Boy's dream is terrible, but let's keep it 100. Everybody's not Frog Boy, okay? Just console. kids and casuals out there that just not with it. It's just what it is. So it's got to be a piece of hardware. They're not going to get rid of their hardware just like they're not getting rid of their surfaces. Okay.
Mhm.
Microsoft's going to continue to make hardware. They already has designed their own AI chip. Why would they do that if they're getting rid of hardware? Come on now.
They have
Let's
to.
keep it 100. All
Yeah,
right.
they have to do it.
So they're working with AMD to definitely get this produced. So I just wanted to put it out there. So I wanted everyone to understand my point of view is more like try to look at things high level, not just from your seat,
Right.
but high level. Try to look at it from a 100-foot view and see where the crowd is. That's where you want to sell your tickets. I mean, if you sell your tickets to the same hardcore fans, you're going to get the same money. If you want to expand and make that 1 billion gamer, you gotta evolve and adapt. This is what it is. And that's PK's word. And I think I even got Paul to agree with me, which is an achievement unlocked.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. I want to mention you talk about that 1 billion. You know, a lot of people breezed over it, but Sarah actually gave a number today. About 34 is where their Game Pass numbers are at. So,
Woo woo.
34 million.
yep, 34 million is where the Game Pass numbers are at. That's what she said today. So,
Yeah.
Shout out.
that's lower. That's lower than what
but
they wanted, but it's still a
what
good number.
are
Yeah.
they counting as Game Pass members? Are they counting core as well, or are they counting just Ultimate? How are they doing?
No,
that?
they're counting
Because-
it all. They're counting core as well.
So, how many gold members did they lose to do that switch? 'Cause
Well,
that
yeah,
sounds
you'll
pretty
probably
low.
never hear about that since they.
You know, I mean, if there was over 100 million, what was it, Xbox Gold subscriptions, and now they only have 34, didn't they lose like 70 million freaking?
They'll probably never give you that information. I mean,
Well,
it's
they
just,
probably should clarify that because it sounds like they lost 70 million freaking gold subscribers.
where are you getting that number from?
Well, didn't they have like 100 and something, like 100 million freaking gold subscribers or something? I
No.
don't
Count
remember.
the 360.
No, they've never had that. Many.
They were
How
probably
many-
lumping PC with that, but PC you get gold.
That
for
was
free.
active users.
No, I think
Yeah,
that
it was like more
it-
like an active user thing. Yeah, that's. I
Yeah.
think they were lumping PC and everybody together.
Oh, dang, that sounds pretty low then. If that's
Well, you got
everything
to remember,
combined,
there's a
like
huge amount of the
if
PC
they
market.
combined all of the Xbox Live Gold members into Game Pass, and see, I don't know. I don't know if they're counting core. That doesn't sound right to me.
Well,
That
core's
sounds
paid
really,
for
really
too,
low.
so core's not free. So
you
Yeah,
guys
I
get
get
into
I get the
weeds.
core's paid for, but I don't know if they were counting that as Game Pass subscriptions that give you access to all the games, because core only gives you access to a select amount of games.
I know.
Nothing super special and like online play. So I don't think that those numbers are included in the Game Pass numbers.
They are part. A core is part of the Game Pass infrastructure, dude. It's called Game Pass Core. So
Okay.
I'm just
Oh, that sounds
saying
pretty
that.
low.
Yeah,
That sounds really low.
Go ahead, clowns.
But
I
okay.
was just waiting for Paul to make a comeback on that, but I'm surprised he didn't
Oh,
say
yeah.
anything. Yeah. Paul.
well, no, I've already, I sat in on some of that before it actually went live, so that's why,
Okay.
Well,
Okay. Well, Cozy, do you have any thoughts on? Yeah, I know you've been quiet, but do you have any thoughts on the, Xbox podcast, and how do you feel about gaming today? Do you feel like the community's torn apart? Do you feel like it needs to come together? Do you think anybody's disrespectful, et cetera, et cetera?
I think it's a lot of people that are disrespectful and in general just very loud, and they know that they can be loud like that because it's going to get to them the attention that they are ultimately hoping to get. So they have these bad takes, they're loud, kind of obnoxious. I actually think, I mostly play on PC, so I think less exclusives are better than exclusives. And I'm also hoping, they have some good games that I enjoy and I think would benefit from having a wider audience. I hope one of them is State of Decay, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah,
Put can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
With the Suicide Squad, I want more villain games. A lot of people keep saying, "Oh, I don't want to see Batman killing nobody. It's not canon." We need more of that. I love that Batman was killing people left and right and shit like that. Honestly, when it comes to the Batman games, he could take a seat for a few years. I want more I want more M-rated villain games from Marvel and DC. I want them all, bro.
Oh, that's fair. I just want to add on to what you said there, Yobi, is that when it comes to these games and you're playing as the villains or what appears to be the villains for whatever their circumstance, I like them. I think that we should see more of these types of games. Like, why not play as the Juggernaut against the X-Men? Why not play as War Machine against Iron Man? Like, why not do some of these roles and
Why
play
not play as Magneto?
Yeah,
So-
Magneto. There you go.
Right? Here's something that's gonna throw you through a loop.
Go ahead.
I once saw somebody quote this online, and I loved it since I saw it.
Mhm.
As children, we grow up immortalizing and loving the hero character.
Mhm.
But when we become adults, we learn to respect and understand the nemesis.
There we go.
Oh boy.
Look at it growing up from the perspective of DC.
Mm.
The Joker was a bad guy. We were all rooting for Batman.
Mhm.
Now, when you look at the Joker movie and just when you understand the Joker himself as a character, you're just like, yeah, I can see why he did it. One of the biggest ones I made was Thanos. I remember telling my buddy, like, Thanos is right. And he's like, why would you say Thanos is right? I was like, because it would take a cataclysm of literally ending all the life in the known universe at the snap of a finger just for people to stop fighting with each other. So I was like, Thanos was right.
He was right 1,000,000%. And
I
bro,
don't know, man. I kind of feel like they're trying to normalize evil.
It's not normalizing evil. It's more like it's kind of sad. Like, here we are on Earth arguing about game consoles and all this other petty stuff that takes place politically and what have you. And like, literally, like, it's going to take like a life altering, like an earth shattering moment, whether it's a natural disaster or frickin' aliens invade, for us to frickin' just stop fighting amongst each other. Like, something ridiculous has to happen just to get people to start like working together again. Because I mean, like, I can't think of another time where America was as this divided as they are today. And just we live in a world that's more connected now, but for whatever reason, we were watching a thing about it from on TikTok last night where this guy was breaking it down. As technology advances, people find more and more ways to isolate themselves.
Mhm.
He's like, it used to be we would invite people over to our homes and we would socialize. We would go to the movie theaters. Hell, we'd bring our game consoles over to our houses and have LAN parties, or we'd all be playing. Like, remember the Nintendo 64 had 4 ports on it just to be able to play.
sir.
Yeah.
Like, literally, we used to have
Yes,
the term,
sir.
screen peeking. Like, nowadays, when you try to bring that up with people, you're like, what do you mean
Yeah.
screen peeking? Like, what?
Dude,
But
you're
that-
looking at my
as-
screen, bro.
As technology has advanced,
Yeah.
we've just learned to isolate ourselves even further and further. And that's why I have to agree that, as a society, as a world, we are connected everywhere, but we're more isolated than we were before all this technology.
Oh yeah, I remember in the early old days when the internet was first starting up. Everybody, oh cool, everybody will have access to the information. Will make everything better because everybody will have more knowledge and more information and
Mhm.
smarter. And they'll look at what's happening and you go, yeah, no, that didn't work out.
Yeah, since the invention of the internet, everybody feels that their opinion has more weight than everybody else's opinion, and it's just gone crazy.
What is going on?
Right.
And you actually have access to bad information at a quicker rate.
Oh, that too.
Did
Yes.
I forget to
Yeah.
pay my internet bill?
And I don't want to see your internet bill. No.
I think I forgot to pay my internet bill.
when
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that's not good. No, Frog, we see you. We see you. Uh,
Yeah. Frog, do you want to give your sign off now or in the next? Yeah. That gets-
Oh,
Wait a minute,
man.
what is
I
your
forgot to pay my
ISP
internet
just
bill
putting like a
again.
countdown timer on the screen? Like you got 5 minutes left of internet?
yeah. Right?
Damn.
I got
Wait,
5 minutes left.
Where are you in North Korea over there? I can't tell.
That's crazy.
Something again, you said something really good about technology and isolating ourselves. And although we have technology to bring gamers together, right? Like we have this technology to go online, go on Xbox Live, go on PlayStation Party Chat, or whatever it may be. It's like, yeah, so we get online together, but for most people, that's it. That's it. Like there's no physical friendship or interaction past these online personalities anymore. I think that's a big problem with our society and the future generations. But you remember back in the day when you wanted to play that new game, that new Street Fighter, you went to the arcade, and there you socialized with everybody in the arcade, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Even the people that beat you or told you that you sucked. I mean, at the end of the day, you still put your quarter up and played against them, and you had a good time. You know, nobody got crazy over it. At least in my arcade, nobody got crazy over it. But
But see, the difference was in the arcade. If somebody told me to get good, I would take my crutch and slap them in the leg and said, "Get help." You know.
wow.
In the arcade, you also didn't have to. In the arcade, you also didn't have to worry about some guy walking up in line going, "Hold on, let me hook my aimbot up to the arcade
Yo.
machine."
Yeah.
Yo.
Yes, that's so true.
Like the online gaming has gotten so weird anymore. Like I remember when I heard somebody talking crap, like, dude, why are people hacking Fall Guys? Are we that obsessed with having to win
Yo,
at
that's
everything that we're hacking
crazy.
Fall Guys?
That's crazy.
Well, yeah, them dudes got to make content, man. They can't be losing on
sad.
live
That's sad.
streaming.
I
Cannot
mean,
lose on
yeah,
that.
no, that's something I do miss about the arcades and social interaction in general is that you went there and you played, whether you were good or not, you just had a good time. And sometimes you learn stuff from the people that were better than you. You know, you watched them play, you mimicked their moves, remembered Mortal Kombat fatalities from them or babalities, whatever it may be. It was just a good time. And today, you don't have that anymore. I mean, they really did try to push for a push on esports, but I don't think that's doing so well as they thought it was going to do. It just seems like it's concentrated of the same teams, the same players, and the same winners, and that's the end of it. You know, and then when they get too old, they retire, and there's another 18-year-old coming in to take their place because somebody just turned 24. That's what I feel like's happening in that.
Yeah, that's why sometime either this year or next year I'm gonna start going out to these gaming conventions so I can meet some of the homies from this community.
Yeah, the real ones go outside.
Hell yeah, hell yeah, bro, hell yeah.
You're saying I'm not real? What the hell, dude?
No, you went to MegaCon and you got.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
You got cardboard pizza
Yeah.
at the Hilton, and you enjoyed every moment of it.
Can you ever let this man live,
No,
bro?
he
Come on.
did. He did. This. I'm
No,
not
that
exaggerating.
pizza was nasty. That pizza
Yes.
was nasty,
Told
dude.
you.
It was,
Dreadful and him
Oh,
did a
man, that's
podcast
funny.
at the Hilton, and he got pizza there, and
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh yeah, it must be good because it's priced, pretty hefty." Oh, what they got was a piece of
no,
cardboard.
both of us,
Oh,
both of
man.
us thought it was disgusting. It was absolutely, no, it was.
I'm sorry for you all.
Like a $40 pizza.
Instead of breaking bread with dread, it was like breaking teeth with dread. It was bad. It was,
Sheesh.
Wait a minute, you paid $40 for what concert were you at?
no, con. It was
Those are like
it was,
concert prices.
It was a con for you.
Oh yeah, you got conned, all right.
yeah.
Dude, you go to a concert out here, they're just like, yeah, I'd like to get that drink. That'd be $25. $25 for a drink? Holy cow.
That's crazy. That's like movie
Yeah.
prices.
Oh, dude, I'd rather go to the movies anymore than a concert. Yeah. Like a beer that's like $4 at a gas station is like $16-20.
Yeah, I seen
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
Concerts I
those
learned a
movies
long
like-
time ago. Go to eat before the concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still go to movies though. Any movies I want to go out and see, I would go straight to the movie theater.
If I was
got one
closer
literally
to a
right down
theater,
the
I
street.
would. If I was closer to a theater, I would. Yeah.
Oh no, I still go to the movies. I enjoy just the the atmosphere and being
Yeah.
able to just sit there and watch a
Me
movie
too.
on the big screen.
Me
And
too.
well, and I
dude.
just like because no distractions. If you're not, nothing. It's just in the theater. It's dark. Nothing to distract you.
Oh,
Mhm.
dude, no, I don't
Yeah.
know about that. I feel like the pandemic
Well,
really killed a lot of
yeah.
people on
Yeah.
movie theater etiquette. And then, dude, I
oh
went
my
to one movie. I can't make this up. We're trying to watch the movie,
Mhm.
and there's these 4 kids sitting like 2 rows in front of us. And for whatever reason, this chick was putting her feet up in the air, like you could see her shoe in front of the
Oh.
screen.
I
So
know.
you're
dude.
What the
so you're
fuck?
just like, what the hell? Like I can like you are just completely out of your mind.
Where the fuck
Wait,
was
Yeah.
the parents?
I have a
was?
question for you. So, so for the both of you that go to the movie theater, probably more than the rest of us lately.
Right.
Are the theaters packed anymore, or is it just like you and like 2 people?
Go ahead, Centurion.
I would say it depends on when you go. If you go during like normal, like if you go at 6 o'clock on a Friday, Saturday night, yeah, you're going to be in a packed house. But I
Yeah.
generally go to the last showing. But the thing is, before the pandemic, you could go to a showing at like 11 o'clock at night and have the place to yourself.
Mhm.
Now the last showing is at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. They've really condensed it down.
Yeah.
But
And the early one
definitely-
too.
Yeah, there's at least out here, you got to really pick and choose your times. Like, don't go on opening day if you don't want people near you.
Mhm.
But though I will say it though, the theaters have done a good job of making the seats bigger. The theaters don't hold near the amount of people as they used to because you have those reclining electric seats. There's a
Yeah.
lot more room to them. But yeah, for sure. At least for me, you got to pick and choose your moments because yeah, there's times you can get there and it's a packed house.
But there, if you go during daylight, it'll be you and you alone, which can be nice, yeah.
Yeah, I went to go
Yeah.
see Mario opening day. I picked the earliest times, which was noon, because I had to go to work in like an hour after that. But I had the theater to myself for that one, and I went to go see what it was. I went to go see Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse? The second one, Across the Spider-Verse, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I went to go see that, and I'll say like half the theater was kind of full, so that was a good showing. And I went to go see what movie was this? I went to go see Doctor Strange, the second one.
Yeah.
I believe that was it's like 4 seats
Yeah.
away from it being a packed house. So
See,
All
one
those-
thing I do like
all those
about
had a
going to
good showing,
theaters
except for Mario.
when big movies first open, one thing I do like about going to theaters is
Mhm.
if it's a good movie, the audience will respond and applaud at the end of the end. So it's just
oh
kind
yeah, oh yeah,
of special to be one of the first groups of people to see the movie outside of the premieres and stuff.
right,
So-
right.
I do kind of miss that aspect of it.
One thing I think is cool what theaters have done to really keep themselves relevant is putting older movies back in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stuff you
Agree.
like you could go see Jurassic. Like I remember when they're like, oh, Jurassic Park. I was like, holy cow, man. I was like 94, 95. I
Yep.
freaking go do that again. I was a kid. This May, they're getting ready to put the Phantom Menace back in theaters. So
Wait,
it's
Star
still
Wars
not going to be. It's still not going to be good, but it'll. No,
Oh, it will, but at the same time,
yeah,
dude, I still remember though, like
They put
it
Star
may have
Wars
not
back in the
been
theaters, I'm
like
going to see
what
it.
we're used to, but everybody
Yeah.
remembers the pod racing scenes and
Oh,
the
yeah.
bass that would come off those pod racers.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
remember when I was a kid, you'd stand outside the movie theater and you knew when the pod racer scene was going down because the doors of the theater
Yeah.
were rattling.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, I remember that. Yep.
But yeah, I do like when they bring back some old movies or do special events and stuff. Some of them are really cool.
Oh yeah.
All right, my friends. Well, I have to get out.
Your internet's about to get switched off, so
Is the
Oh,
guy
wow.
outside
We
your
gotta
window
go.
or something like pointing with like
Yeah.
cable cutters? Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
yeah.
Yeah, dude, you got the cable cutters right there, man. They're gonna turn off my internet.
It's all automatic.
I'll see you guys later, though. I told my wife we were gonna go shopping, and I usually tell her that we're gonna be out of here by like 6:30. So she's.
I was gonna say, are you in one of those situations where you lease your modem? Are they outside telling you they need it
Yo,
back?
Come on,
Yes.
Centurion. Come on.
No, I just
the Xfinity refill man is out there.
Oh,
I
dude, no,
just-
I hate it. Like a
when
lot
I
of
make-
people.
When I make
A lot of
promises
people
to
don't
mama,
realize when
I'll
they
follow
get
through.
their internet, they're like, "Oh yeah, here's your modem." They're like, "Oh, you're just giving this to me?" Well, we're actually
No.
going to tack $5 onto your bill each month. You're just not going to notice.
Yeah.
That's cold blooded.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm sorry to leave on you guys again, but yeah, dude, when I make a promise to my wife,
Cold-blooded.
Oh, dude, no, I get that,
Yeah,
man.
she's the
Yeah.
one out there standing with her with the cable cutters.
I
But
told her
yeah, you-
6:30. I told her 4:30 to 6:30, and
Oh,
like, yeah, we're
We did
right
start
there, so,
late, yeah. So
yeah.
we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
we did. Blame
It's our
Paul.
fault,
Blame
man.
Paul.
blame Carlo. I just tell you.
So we'll see you guys next Thursday. You know where to find me. In between that, Frogboy X1 Gaming, Frogboy X1 Gaming on Twitter. If you guys want to hear what I have to say, cool. If you don't, at least stop by and hit the like button or yell at me, tell me some bad stuff, whatever. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks.
All right, later, Frog.
Thanks again.
Later, Frog.
Bye.
See you guys.
See you, buddy.
So, I just want to say, like, everything you brought up today, Centurion, was right on point with kind of like how I feel.
You
Your
broke
take-
it down great too.
Yeah,
That was
you
fire.
did a great breakdown. Like, you had this prepared. You were waiting for Xbox to come out and just lay the news flat on some of these people out there.
I feel like I've been sitting for the past 2 weeks on social media holding a carton of eggs, like, oh, who's getting the first one?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm just gonna wrap up my thoughts on it because I might have been all over the place between everybody talking. But my thoughts on it were that I think Phil is very professional. He came out and said what he had to say. That Xbox brand is not going anywhere.
Mhm.
So some games may go multi-plat right now, like 4 games, not a big deal. And even if all the games are multi-plat, like Frogboy said, to me it's not a big deal. Xbox will still be my preferred console. I will still enjoy Game Pass Ultimate.
Same.
And
Same.
I will play Xbox wherever they put an app that I can play it. If it
Mhm.
ever did go on, let's just say, in the future, like 10 years from now or whatever, if it ever did go on competing platform, I would play the Xbox app on that platform too. I ain't going to stop
Woo
playing
woo.
just because it's a different platform. And I think
Likewise.
that we're into the older generations into this phase where you got to have, they swear the loyalty to this plastic box, right? But the loyalty should be to this. If you're going to have loyalty as a
developers.
fan or consumer,
Facts.
is to the studios behind the product, right? Xbox Game Studios has how many studios now, Centurion? Like a ton. And they just bought ABK, right? So if you're a fan, why not support all the studios? Doesn't matter where the games go. If you can play it there, play it there. If you play it here, play it here.
And clowns, they mentioned some. I don't know if anybody peeped it, but when the podcast they did earlier, Matt Booty mentioned something about buying more studios. So he slipped it in there. I don't know if anybody heard that. So I'm like, oh, but they're not done.
Ooh, good catch. I didn't hear that.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
catch.
Matt Booty said it, and I caught. I was like, oh, he said something about and getting more studios. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Could it
Nice.
be Sega?
See,
Well,
that's I know, hopefully, and that's the only thing. Like, a lot of people don't realize that because Microsoft bought ABK,
Mhm.
they're under a lot of scrutiny from world regulatory bodies. Like,
Right.
they literally have an official of the CMA that's now part of the process of how things are delivered and distributed over in the UK. They
Right.
know that right now in its current state that the leadership of the FTC are constantly
Right. And
gunning
they're
for
still
Xbox
fighting the
and
FTC right now
Microsoft.
in
Yeah.
court.
Oh yeah, I know,
Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah,
crazy. That's
that's the thing.
crazy.
Like, so basically, Microsoft does have to march to a little bit of a different
A different
tune when
tune,
it
yeah.
comes to this whole situation. And that's because they've been through the ringer with the FTC in the past and the whole Internet Explorer thing. And that's
Yep.
where they know, like, yeah, these guys could come in and cause a lot of issues if you get too aggressive. So the last thing they want to do is get it to where all of a sudden they give either one of these regulatory bodies enough fuel to start making them divest and break up what they've created.
Right.
So yeah, and it's in their best interest to definitely be a lot more open with their IP. And I like how he's, like Phil Spitzer said, there's a process to it. It's going to be very selective. We're going to be looking towards community driven games or older style games. But at the same time, I would not, even if Starfield came to PlayStation, which they denounced, even if it did, what is that going to be? What, 3 years from when it first came out on Xbox? 5 years when it first came out on Xbox? Like if somebody is that much of a diehard for the brand that they prefer, that they will not play that game until it comes to their brand, hopefully, hey, more power to you. But I'm a gamer true and true. I mean, like, I literally have Deathloop on PlayStation. I went and bought. I knew it was coming to Game Pass a year later, but I was like, screw it, I want to play it now. Bought it on PlayStation.
Dude, yeah, I have Deathloop via the Game Pass out, and my little brother he bought Deathloop on PS5. I'm like, hey, the more the merrier, shit.
By the way, even though Phil said what he said today, 2, 3, 4 years from now, that may change. Then Starfield may move, and it won't be. Well, he lied. No, they came to a different decision. They are allowed to change their mind sometimes,
right?
For whatever reason,
Right, and this is what I said last week, and you wasn't here for the Centurion, but what I said was, generation by generation by generation, it's getting close and closer and closer to the point where Xbox and Sony is getting to the point where exclusives won't mean shit anymore. The only company who's gonna be the last one waving the flag, who's gonna hold out, is Nintendo. Right. If anything, yeah, Xbox and PlayStation, they're the ones came in first. Nintendo is gonna be the last ones holding that exclusive flag.
And what's keeping Nintendo alive is an older demographic.
Right.
The people that grew up on those IPs,
right? People
that grew up on having to blow into their Nintendo to get the cartridge to freaking work. That, like, I'm just saying, like that. Like, I remember Nintendo. Every time a Nintendo came out, you knew, like, oh, it's going to be a different shaped cartridge.
Yeah.
And Nintendo holds their games like they don't do sales on their games very often. And it's kind of like how Transformers went from being a kid's cartoon to a more mature IP when, during the Shia LaBeouf and all the other ones with Mark Wahlberg, where it was a more mature version of Transformers compared to the kids cartoon, because they knew that the people that grew up on Transformers, that targeted audience, were no longer eating cereal sitting there on a Sunday morning waiting for the cartoon. They knew that these were working adults and they had to create something for them that would be more along their age group.
So instead, I was sitting on my couch eating cereal, watching Transformers, the movie.
And also, with Nintendo, they just passed 140 million sales. And I know they're gonna be announcing the Switch 2 most likely this year, but I guarantee you, they're not gonna pull the plug on the Switch until they knock Sony's PS2 total sales off that mark. Once Nintendo passed that with the Switch 1, that's all they want, and that would be the ultimate FU to Sony from the bad business they did with Nintendo years ago.
I'm curious what Nintendo's going to do for backwards compatibility. The backwards compatibility and bringing the games you have put a lot of money into forward with you. It's becoming almost second nature in gaming. That's why people can't wrap their mind around or accept the fact that generations are lasting longer. Like, you have a lot of cross-generation games between the Xbox One and the Xbox Series consoles. And that's because we're starting to get to that mode where people don't want to take their last generation games and, like, as Phil Spencer said, put them in a closet.
Right.
Yeah. Like, they want to be able to go back to those titles because, I get an itch every once in a while to go play an Xbox 360 game or an Xbox One game. And that's where.
Go ahead. Speak of it.
But that's where people more and more are getting accustomed to their games going with them to that next generation of a console. And I'm curious what Nintendo's going to do. Because I just really do feel that if they get rid of backwards compatibility and Switch 1 games don't work with the Switch 2, are we going to see people finally get fed up with this whole idea of, last generation's games not working on the newer platforms?
And I still, Paul, but what still flabbergasts me, and it's a great feat of what the Microsoft or Xbox did. Your Series console can play 4 generations of Xbox games. That's insane, bro. And I can never wrap my mind about that. How fucking cool that is. And so
Yep.
I
And
picked
the
this up a few
interesting
weeks
thing,
ago
yeah, nice.
because I was fiending for it, and this just came in the mail today.
I know that.
I needed this. I needed this so bad. I needed
Nice.
this because this game, it had damn near every single character from Dragon Ball to Z to GT. Even had Vegeta's little brother on this game. He sucks. No, he sucks, bro. He sucks.
I will say that interestingly enough, Nintendo players will buy the same game over and over and over.
Oh,
and
I'm
over
guilty of
again.
it. I'm
It's
guilty of it.
so
I'm guilty
so
of it.
Oh, I know. I don't know how many copies of Ocarina of Time I've bought in my lifetime.
I'm so
So
guilty.
I don't know that the generation thing will hurt them that much.
Mhm.
Well, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like as that older demographic grows older,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
we all know what happens when you get older. But that's why I'm just saying, are they going to be able to do something that's going to attract newer players, the people that grew up on the Fortnites and
Yeah.
gaming on their cell phone
Mhm.
and free to play games as in general? Is Nintendo going to
Yeah.
be able to attract new players doing that?
What's interesting is your view matches mine, but every time I bring it up on other podcasts, with that Nintendo really does lean into the whole nostalgia of things with the older gamers. The first thing I hear is, well, but their kids are playing too. But yeah, will their kids be playing when those kids are 14 and 15 and have access to, you know, bigger, better, badder game systems? Will it carry on? And like you, I think if they don't at some point adjust, it will fade out because that generation will grow up and out.
I think
And
they'll. Sorry.
no, I was about done. So yeah, I just think that at some point Nintendo is going to have to adjust. Everybody says, well, they don't have to because what they've been doing has been working, and that falls back into well, how what can they adjust when it does stop? Well,
You could
will
already
they
see
see
the
when it
signs of
starts
that
to stop
adjustment.
working? Yeah,
You can see already signs of that adjustment as soon as Microsoft
Yeah.
is like, "Hey, you want to sign an agreement for Call of Duty?" They were like, "What? We could get Call of Duty?" I'm like, and I'm just saying, remember back in the day, man, like
Mhm.
to sit there and say that there's games on Nintendo now that we wished was on Nintendo when we had Nintendos.
Yeah.
Well, I think the other thing to remember is Nintendo was pushed into the business position that they were, so that the reason their IP sell and what you call it, others don't, is because Nintendo, number one, has a very frugal approach to game design, has a very
Mhm.
game centric approach to game design. They aren't going for loud and spectacle. They're going for great gameplay and purely great gameplay is their first goal. So they don't have to. So they have longer to last because outside of the whole we have to move to that because they know how to operate within their means.
Oh no, dude, Nintendo. My wife has a Switch. I watch her play all the time. I have games for the Switch. I even got Breath of the Wild and a couple other games that I still need to play. I play Link. I've been playing Link's Awakening here and there in between stuff. But that's where I just think it's interesting that Nintendo definitely focuses
Got
on
mine.
that. And I still have to. I think it's weird on how people, for whatever reason, on PlayStation and Xbox are like lifelike graphics, 4K resolution, 60 frames a second, all this stuff. But Nintendo's over here worrying more about game mechanics and fluid game design.
Game
And
graphics.
and that's where I'm just like, man, what is going on? Like, why is
Oh.
it that people that play on Nintendo are just fine with 30 frames a second? But the minute you bring Xbox or PlayStation into the equation, all of a sudden people get motion sick or they're going blind or anything others. It's just like, what is going
Bro,
on?
I never understood that shit, bro. Like that shit is weird, bro. It is weird.
Like, I've had people say I can't play a game at 30 frames a second. It hurts my eyes. I'm just like, you do realize that most of the television you watch
It's in
is
30.
around 30 frames a second. I'm just wanting to let you know that.
Yep.
They say they can't play this game at 37 because it makes them dizzy. But they were just playing a Nintendo Switch game the other day on handheld. Like, get the fuck out of here. Go ahead,
Yeah, I
Clowns.
think they just like
Oh,
to
so-
posture up. Like, got to be 60 or 120 or 3000. Got to have that
Right?
3000 FPS.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know. I mostly play indie, so whenever people are
Yeah.
like that, I'm like, eye roll.
My
Right.
wife was just messaging me because of the dog. So I gotta wrap it up, guys. I'm sorry, but
No, we have
Centurion,
fun, bro. What are you talking about?
honestly, it was a major pleasure getting you on the show and talking to you. And I love
Definitely. Hell
your
yeah.
energy and the stuff that you bring out here to the people. Like, it's just a great message that you have as a positive gamer, and you look at everything from a positive aspect, which is well appreciated. And Paul loves to talk wrestling with you as well, beforehand and afterhand. So,
Yeah.
Love it.
go ahead and tell everybody where they can find you.
For those interested, you can find me at Centurion 1307, Twitter, Xbox Live, and of course YouTube. I will say it, I just got fed up and I logged off for 2 weeks on YouTube, but I'm getting ready to strike out and make content again. I even reached out to a friend of mine that's going to start he's going to start making appearances with me, and no, it's not a costume character with glowing X eyes.
Oh man.
This is a real individual, not a caricature. But for those that definitely want to, please check out my channel, look at previous content, stay tuned for what I got cooking on my channel. But you can also find me over on the TXR podcast every Sunday night with the Awesome Invader Gaming and the rest of the cast over there. I know this Sunday's show is going to be a little bit of an interesting one because we got that. We've got that announcement that took place today, and I know there's definitely going to be a lot of back and forth.
Oh hell yeah! I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Nice. Well, I'm excited to watch that. I always try to catch the replays on TXR. Invader is a great dude, and glad that it's still around. I remember TXR through all its iterations, so it's really cool to see that it's still here. I think it's almost as old as 4GQ TV, Four Guys with Quarters.
Oh yeah, it's been around for a while. Invader was definitely one of the fundamental reasons why TXR is still around.
Yep.
Sweet. That's amazing. It's fucking amazing.
Cozy.
Yes.
Beluga, where you can find all the belugas.
You can find me
All the
where
belugas.
you find all belugas. Here on Thursdays.
In the Baltic Sea. Oh, wait. No,
Here on Thursdays. On Fridays, I do bull sitting. And we said I'm trying to think.
Wasted with
With him
Wise.
solo.
Wasted with Wise and Majestic Mayhem on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays.
Jeez.
Just minutes on Sunday. What's wrong?
I think you missed like 2 days out of the week.
I'm sorry, you guys. I got off my my shift, my 12-hour shift.
She said Thursday.
Cozy's drunk. Cozy's drunk.
No, I wish. I'm just really tired.
The legendary one.
Talk to me.
Where can people find you?
You can find me at Twitter at. Okay. I'm not calling it X. It's Twitter. Mama name on Twitter. I'm gonna call it Twitter. It's Twitter. You can find me at Twitter at Legendary Yobi. That's it. And whenever Clowns will allow me, you can catch me on here Thursdays. If not every Thursday, every other Thursday. Whenever I'm free. So, Clowns, thanks for the invite. I appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, always welcome here, your family. And same with you,
Olive
Centurion.
Garden.
You're always welcome here as well.
I appreciate that. And also, like, I'm excited I was able to have a conversation with Yobi.
My man.
All my interactions
My
have
man.
been with him on Twitter. So now it's like, all right, social media bucket list.
You
Do a
darn
show with Yobi.
exist.
My guy. Appreciate you, guy. I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, and when you drop that new video, tag me, bro.
I will for sure do that.
My man, I appreciate you.
Woohoo.
And then we have, should I say all the names, Paul?
No.
No, we have
no,
Cerebral Paul.
No.
Respect. God damn it, leave him alone.
Cerebral, Pineapple,
You already built
Powerbomb,
you already
is,
built that
uh,
man enough.
Is TXR looking for anybody new? 'Cause- Opinionated, old. I'm older than most anybody else in our circles. So, anyway, you can find me on X at Cerebral Paul 1. You can find me at Twitch at Cerebral Paul. And Twitch, also on the Xbox Ambassador channel on Tuesdays. You can find me with Gaming Differently with Cerebral Paul, where I play games and we talk about accessibility. And then on Mondays and Thursdays, you can find me here on 4Juki TV. Mondays for the Papa Powerbomb podcast. And I'm hoping Centurion will be on with us, not this coming up Monday, but the following Monday after the pay-per-view. That's right. I'm making it official now, Centurion. So now you got to be there.
Oh wow!
Oh.
He put you on the spot.
I'm
Damn.
about to powerbomb you.
Look, he's putting it in schedule. Okay, Papa.
Just looking. Yeah, no problem. I was just. Oh, I'm gonna let you know, man. I will have to add that one's actually my 14th wedding anniversary.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, it's like, I might if I told her I got a podcast.
Oh yeah, it's not going over well.
Yeah.
That's
In
not
that case,
going over well.
we might let you skip.
Oh man. That's
Wow,
crazy.
listen to Paul.
Actually,
like,
I
he's
think-
already
I
got
think the following-
contract written.
I think the Monday after that would be the day before you go to the show. Right. The day before
Right.
you go to the yeah. So
minute.
but we'll figure it out.
Right.
We'll have you on soon.
Yeah.
Unless maybe even if this let me know if this Monday's available, because we can do that talk before the pay-per-view as well, with all the stuff going on with The Rock and
Pay-per-view.
Cody and all that.
So we're
I'll
on next
definitely
week.
Let you know. Huh?
It's the week after. It's not
Oh,
this
sweet.
weekend. It's next weekend.
Okay.
So anyway, you can also find me on Fridays for Wasted with Wise, and I think that's it. The rest of the time, you can just find me being on Twitter, being my
Retro
lovely old
Renegades.
crotchety self. Yeah. Oh yeah,
Tuesdays.
Tuesday, Retro Renegades.
Sure.
Can't forget them. They always get mad when I forget them.
Metro Renegades at 7:00 every Tuesdays.
Backlog bastards.
Actually, I have I've been I was never officially retired from the backlogs, but he just never lets me know when we're doing it. So I guess I'm not on that show anymore.
No, I don't think
That's
that's
fine.
it. I don't think that's it.
Yeah.
So I was gonna
Never
say
mind, I'm gonna shut up.
that's all right. You can all find me at 4GQ TV or at your next convention. Usually we end up with press passes to almost every convention now. I'll be at San Diego Comic Con.
That's amazing.
I'll
This
be
shit
at,
comes.
thanks.
Amazing, bro.
Yeah, he didn't told me if I'm at San Diego Comic Con because I guess I'm not good enough. But
Oh
whatever.
wow, here we go.
What? No, you got to get there first. I don't know.
You've never told me I can get a pass. You told me I can get a pass. I'll work on the other side. But I'm not gonna make plans to go and not be able to go.
Well, I mean, California's expensive. It's not cheap, Paul.
I do have friends out there and
All right,
family,
all
and
right. If you can get out there, then you can get a pass. I'll
Uh,
see. Let's see what happens.
okay, good to know. By the way, we have an interview coming up. I don't even know who it's with. Do you know who it's
I
with?
know.
now?
I didn't get through my outro yet. You won't let me get through my outro.
Uh,
Wow, listen to this guy, Power Pineapple Paul.
And that's why he get that. That's why he does the things he does, because you always
Yeah.
bullying him.
Yeah, that's right. I'm sending paparazzi
What?
at your house. Yeah. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, I'll be at WonderCon, San Diego Comic Con, Tampa Bay Comic Con, MetroCon. We do have some more interviews coming up with some actors and actresses and comedians. Tomorrow we're going to be interviewing actor Aaron Davila, who was in Pledge from 2018. It's
Nice.
kind of like a horror movie, I guess, or suspense or something. Paul probably knows what it is, but I don't know.
and now I have less than 12 hours to look it up and watch it. So whatever.
No, you're good.
There you go.
You get it done. You got some research, and then we're gonna be having somebody on from Apple TV Plus. He's a writer. He wrote the
Uh-oh.
Deerfield Massacre. He's got a show coming out. He's gonna come on the show as well. Paul will be reading the book with me. It's about 400 or 500 pages. So anyway, catch me at 4GQ TV, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Everybody on the panel and everybody in the chat. See you guys later.
Peace,
Later,
love, light. You have a good
haters.
night.
Yeah.
Peace, chat.